Hey everyone, Diavolo here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the horribly sad and honestly ridiculous life of Akaza before he became an upper rank demon and one of Muzan's strongest creations. But just before we do get into today's video, make sure you do all hit that subscribe button and also be sure to leave a like on the video as well, as it really helps out with that algorithm and pushes my stuff to a bunch of new amazing people. But anyway, enough of that, let's get back into the one and only story of Akaza. As the headless Akaza struggles to regenerate and fuse himself into something new, he feels someone tugging at him from behind and asking him to just stop already. Becoming annoyed, he tells her to let go, but the beautiful young lady tearfully asks him why he wants to become stronger. Not realizing his sudden change, he turns to her and tells this figment of his imagination that it is because he won't be able to bring it back. He won't be able to save his dad. Flashing back over 2 centuries, we find the brutal Akaza was actually kind, but a confused young man who went by the name of Hakuji Soyama. Hakuji was born and raised in the slums to a sickly father that he deeply loved. In order to pay for medicine and food, Soyama pickpocketed from people in town, but was caught 3 times, resulting in the first of his 3 tattoos. The magistrate beat him, threatening to cut off his arms the next time he was caught, finally calling him a demon child before leaving him. When Hakuji returned home after his 3rd beating, a neighbouring villager informed him that his father, having heard of his arrest, had hung himself. In the final letter he had left for his son, he stated that he wanted Hakuji to live an honest, fulfilled life and didn't want to be such a burden on him, especially if everything was earned by dishonest means. With his criminal tattoos and no home to return to, Hakuji was eventually banished from Edo as a whole. Devastated by the loss of his father and enraged at the society they lived in, where he could not afford his father's medicine, he picked fights with people and beat them up. One day, after nearly killing 7 adult men in a village, he was approached by a random man, the owner of a local dojo, who had been called to actually help the young boy, as everyone had suspected the 7 older men would beat him to death. While looking at the man, he starts to realize that his memories are coming flooding back in. As they talk, Hakuji becomes extremely annoyed by this man's cheerful demeanor and charges at him, challenging him to a fight. But when he goes to hit him, he gets completely and utterly decimated with ease. As he wakes from the beating, Hakuji finds himself under the care of that man, whose name turns out to be Keizo. He was the master of a dojo that taught the bare-fisted fighting style, Soryu, but he didn't have a single student, so he made his way by doing simple handyman work. Keizo then took in Soyama so that he could nurse Koyuki, Keizo's sickly daughter. Sadly, her mother had drowned herself due to the stress of raising her dying daughter, and Keizo had to work handyman jobs to keep them afloat, so Hakuji was tasked with tending to her. In reality, as he thinks, he wonders, why do sick people always apologize? Why do they think they are a burden? They should be the one in the most pain. He says that Koyuki had a really weak body, but because he was already accustomed to caring for his father, he had little to no trouble looking after her. Though, he found it awkward when she burst into tears seemingly at random. One of those times, unbeknownst to him, he had indirectly given her hope by telling her that there will be a next year to see a local fireworks show, and if they can't go that year, there will always be another year. Koyuki revealed to Soyama that his master wasn't a samurai, but still managed to obtain land and a dojo. But when he saved an old man, the old man was so fascinated by a Soryu technique that he handed over the land and the dojo since he had no successors. Once a nearby dojo found out about this though, Koyuki was forced outside and left there by the heir of the neighbouring Kenjutsu dojo that sought Keizo's land for themselves. They also prevented him from getting any students before Hakuji was rescued. Enraged, Keizo and Hakuji fought the other dojo and defeated 9 people. Hakuji made them promise to never get involved with the Soryu dojo or Koyuki again. But the heir of the rival dojo became so enraged that he swung a real sword at Hakuji, only for him to use his bell splitter technique and punch the side of the blade, completely shattering it. The other members of the dojo were so moved by the beauty of his technique that they accepted their loss and apologized for the rudeness of their heir, leaving the Soryu dojo in peace. 2 years later, Koyuki's health improved enough that she could stand and do chores. Hakuji continued training as Keizo's pupil of the Soryu style, and the dojo began to grow. One day, Keizo offered to let Hakuji take over the dojo and take Koyuki as his bride. To Hakuji's surprise and embarrassment, he agreed, silently vowing to protect them both, even at the cost of his own life. At a festival, Kyuki told him of her past, asking him if he was really okay with the proposal, to which he reaffirms his vows to her, promising to protect her for the rest of his life. The heir of the rival dojo, though, heard about Hikuji's marriage to Kyoki, so he gathered some angered disciples and hatched a plan to seek revenge on the dojo. In another extremely tragic moment, Hikuji went to visit his father's grave to inform him of his marriage, but even while he was there, he realized something was amiss, and upon his return, a fellow student from the dojo informed him that the rival heir had poisoned the well where Kyuki and Keizo drank water from, because he knew that he would never be able to beat Hikuji or Keizo in a direct fight. Sadly, the two died almost immediately after drinking the water, sending the 18-year-old Hikuji into a spiral of absolute despair. Enraged at the deaths of his loved ones, Hikuji killed all 67 members of the rivaling dojo with his bare hands, crushing their skulls and destroying their limbs, to where their corpses were no longer recognizable. This specific event was so outlandish that it became regarded as a completely fictitious story after 30 years in the future. As he walks through the streets blooded and bruised, a mysterious cat-eyed figure is seen walking over a bridge as he approaches the young man. Hikuji tells him to move out of the way or he's dead, but as he goes to strike at him, he gets completely and utterly outclassed, suddenly getting stabbed through the head by the other man's fist. The younger Muzan begins pulsating his blood into Hikuji's skull, while stating that he was thinking about creating 12 strong demons. He asks him if he can withstand the amount of blood that he is about to give him. With nothing left to protect and having lost his will to live, Hikuji replies that he just doesn't care anymore, accepting his fate and becoming their demon, Akaza. As his body begins to fade, he realizes that he became a demon and had lost his memories. So he yearned for that strength once more, even though there wasn't anything left that he wanted to protect. In reality, he didn't even want to live in a world where he lost his family, but for over at least 100 years now, he had kept pointlessly murdering over and over again. Yet at the end of the day, his life was just a pathetic, comical, uninteresting story. Well, that officially sums up Akaza's life as a human, and honestly, I can pretty much say I would have absolutely hated to have his life as a human if I was in the Demon Slayer world, as I think his life in general has probably been one of the most heartbreaking stories that I've had to read in manga so far. Like, I'm still quite new to manga and I'm still, you know, enjoying getting into it in general, and reading Akaza's story here, you know, finding out about his past was honestly heartbreaking. So heartbreaking that I had to stop, you know, reading through the Demon Slayer story at around like chapter 158 and just jump straight into making this video here. Like, honestly, Akaza is an amazing demon, and I really hope they give him justice throughout the anime, which I'm absolutely sure they will. Like, seeing him in the Mugen Train movie was absolutely cool, so I can't wait to see what they do later on with him throughout the story, especially in the Infinity Castle arc, which, if you guys are interested, that video will be coming out probably towards the end of next week, so about a week from now, a week and a half from now, as that is like 60 chapters I've got to cover and compile down, so it is a massive video I will be doing, but that will be coming out, yeah, as I just said, probably towards the end of next week, so, you know, keep your eyes out for that, and if it does come out any sooner, it will be on my Patreon, so make sure you do go over there and check that out if you want to get earlier access to these kind of like explained or larger explained videos that I do. But yeah, obviously, if you have enjoyed the video, do make sure you hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to leave a like on the video, as it really helps out with that algorithm and pushes my stuff to a bunch of new amazing people. Plus, you know, I can't really thank you enough for all the support on the Demon Slayer content recently. It has been absolutely amazing, and it just makes it all the more enjoyable, honestly, talking about the series as well. So thank you. But anyway, for now, it's been your professional degenerate, Diavolo, and I will see you all in a bit. Bye.